Dear fellow Kenyans, I speak to you as the owner of Pinewood Beach Resort and Spa in Galo, Kinondo. A few days ago, on Friday 17th of November, Paul Russo of KCB and Kamal Butt, KCB's appointed receiver of English Point Marina, organized an attack on Pinewood Beach Resort. We were attacked by a car full of security personnel from Windstar Security, who brought with them a canter full of crude weapons, rungus, machetes and stones, and over 200 goons dropped off by matatus. Their goal was to destroy, pillage and kill, evict all employees, steal, destroy and leave Pinewood in ruins. A large mob gathered at the main gate and forcefully entered the hotel. Unfortunately, our staff were overwhelmed and were beaten with rocks and slashed with machetes. On that day, at Pinewood, we had over 60 tourists from Europe and about 80 staff and management. As the owner of Pinewood, I'm deeply saddened by the attack that took place. I was born in Kenya and have lived here all my life. I've never seen anything like this in Kenya. The attackers acted with complete impunity, savagery, no regard for the law or the court-ordered injunctions. We have comprehensive CCTV footage, and the scenes are unbelievable. Shocking, distressing, sad, just unbelievable. This is not my Kenya. The attackers overwhelmed us from the main gate and the beach. They beat our staff and robbed our guests in broad daylight. This is the second time that they have tried to enter Pinewood forcefully, and they continue to do so despite court injunctions. Yet, despite having a court-ordered injunction, KCB and their appointed receiver continue to attack Pinewood. This time there were no receivers or lawyers present. The attackers made their way through the hotel, ambushing guests and beating our staff to the ground. Many of our staff sustained serious wounds and deep gashes to the head from crude weapons that required urgent medical attention. Tourist police had to intervene with gunfire, while our own staff were forced to fight the attackers head-on. We are grateful that no one was killed. Without the protection of armed police and the courage of our staff, this may not have been the case. Even our own guests did what they could by carrying staff who were too injured to walk and administering first aid on the wounded. There is no doubt in my mind that this attack was intended to do as much damage as possible with the use of violence. I dread to think what might have happened had we not been able to ward them off. What was their intent? What was their end goal? Unthinkable. Once the dust has settled, after the police had cleared the hotel of all intruders, we were left to pick up the pieces and tend to our traumatized guests. They were stressed and fearful. Several guests left the hotel that day, while others left the following day. Our guests wanted to know if this would happen again. Their children were unable to sleep. This simply should not have happened. Staff should not have to put their lives at risk to protect their place of work. And our tourists should not be subject to senseless violence. I am therefore disgusted in Paul Russo, CEO of KCB, and Kamal Butt for organizing this attack. For what they've done is illegal, it is criminal, with no regard for human life, let alone the reputation of our beloved country, Kenya. Let it be known that these people deal in violence as a means of intimidation. At this point in time, we are gathering evidence and pursuing criminal charges against all individuals involved. We've collected witness statements from our guests and staff and compiled CCTV camera footage of the whole incident taken throughout the hotel. Violent attacks that endanger our lives and hinder our ability to safely operate our business cannot become commonplace. This should never happen again to any place of business in this country, period. We fear that despite attaining a clear court injunction to prevent any party from taking over, they will continue to act unlawfully to forcefully gain possession. I am forever grateful to our staff and guests for their bravery. I am also grateful to the police who had to intervene to ensure our safety. The police are going to remain at Pinewood full-time throughout the holiday period. The perpetrators are being investigated. I'm requesting our stakeholders in tourism and Kenya at large to speak up against rogue acts of terror that aim to destabilize our industries.